So hi, everyone. We can go ahead and get started. My name is Mia Cash. I'm Overpass's talent advocate manager. Excited to go through our second remote sales live with Overpass sales manager, Dennis Hamilton. He has over 30 years of experience in a variety of businesses and is excited to help you all on your sales journey to success. He's had experience as a Fortune 500 executive and has been the owner of a national sales organization. And as I'm sure you'll hear in the next few moments, is very, very passionate about this industry and about you all. So without further ado, I will let Dennis introduce his topic for this week, and we can go ahead and get started.
Awesome. Thanks, Mia. Appreciate that. So guys, here we are in round two. Hey, just as a little bit of admin deal, I'd like everybody by next week to at least invite 2 or 3 contractors that you may know. And let's just keep building audience, because I don't care if there's 3 on the meeting, but it would be so much better if there was 300. So let's just make an extra effort during the week and go, if it was of value to you, if I put you to sleep, tell them not to show up. But if it was interesting and relative, invite a couple friends the next week. And maybe even people that are interested in being contractors with Overpass. That'd be super cool. You could share that link, right, Mia? Is that correct? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to talk about our workspace. I know it says your workspace, but let's talk about our workspace. And last week we did goal setting. You may go, oh my gosh, your workspace, how relevant could that be? To me, it's super relevant. So let's just kind of unpack this. I'm going to spend about 20, 25 minutes talking, and then we're going to open it up for questions and answers. We can speak to anything that I mentioned in the webinar or just other questions if you have other questions. So let's dig in and get started. Why is this so important? You go, well, why does it? I'm on the phone all day. Well, you're not on the phone in an interview. Because if you're in an interview with me, you're on video. So your first impression with your client is going to be on video. But why is this important? It's important for work quality. In other words, I can do quality work because I don't lose focus. It's important for efficiency. I've taken away my personal life from my home. I'm still in my home, but there's that switch. We got to turn on and off. Okay, now I'm at work. Now I'm in my living room. It's a really short commute, but we have to be able to separate the two. It's great for effectiveness because I have acute focus on my contract and on delivering for my client that we all know is going to make us more money because we're all in sales or marketing. And then payback. Every investment I've ever made in technology pays back dividends. And at the end of this meeting, I'll show you my office space, but we're going to start with a story. I always have a dentist story. I just love stories. So what does it take to set up a remote workspace? And a lot of you are probably thinking, I may not have the money for this. Yeah, you do. Yeah, trust me, you do. Or if you don't, you will soon with the right contract. I need a quiet atmosphere. I need the right internet connection. I need the right tools to be able to do the job effectively. I need to be able to be comfortable for a 4, 6, 8. We have contractors that work 10-hour shifts, believe it or not, with some clients. Shift. And I need to be able to pace my day and stay effective for every hour I'm working. So those are kind of the things that we're going to touch on during this meeting. So the first thing I want to talk about is the 1 square meter workspace. I moved back to Mexico 2.5 years ago, and I was newly married. And I just told my wife, you find whatever you feel comfortable with to rent, and we'll just live there. And she did. And when I moved in, I went, how am I ever going to work out of this space? It was a tiny little, kind of like 1 bedroom, half studio apartment. And I'm like, well, this is what I got. Let's see what we can do with it. And if you look at those pictures, this is actually the office I was in when I started with Overpass. So if you look at the left-hand picture, I went down to a carpenter and he charged me like $30 to carve out this desk that's that wide. And I threw a spare monitor on the side of my dresser, and I got a cheap chair and I put a light up. So I had some lighting. And then a couple months later, it looked like the right-hand side. This is how I work with Overpass, because it's all I had to work with. So when you see the last picture of where I work today, that's not how I started with Overpass. That is not how my Overpass journey began. If I had it to do all over again, I actually enjoyed that experience, just so you know. So let's walk through this. Let's just get started. First thing we're going to talk about is having a quiet atmosphere. Now, guys, this conversation may amaze you, but I've had a lot of you guys on interviews over the last couple of years, and I've been on video interviews and there's kids playing in the background. And I've been on interviews and there's roosters crowing in the background. If that's your life situation, that's your life situation. But if you flag that during an interview, I can guarantee you nobody's ever contracted anybody that had a rooster crowing in the background or kids playing in the background. So the first thing is, do I have a quiet atmosphere? Because that background noise will just kill you, whether we're on the phone or video. It doesn't matter how big it is. Size is not important. I just showed you my 1 square meter office. It was actually 780 cubic centimeters. I actually measured it out. It was tiny. Like, don't worry about size. Screen out background noise. You may have to do that by shutting the windows, closing the doors, putting a shower curtain up around you, whatever it needs. You need to, if you have background noise, you need to baffle that. Check out what's behind you, because we may be on the phone all day long, but if you're on an interview, everybody sees my background. This is not a digital screen. This is literally my office, right? Don't need to go to that level, but you need to check out at least what's behind you. A curtain's fine, but make sure that they're not looking at your dirty dishes from the night before or your unmade bed. Super important. Partition with curtains. Curtains do another thing is they actually baffle the noise at the same time. Doors and windows closed. We're already talking about that. Anything you can do to dampen the noise. Like, I have 1970 looking shag carpet in my office, which I do not enjoy, but it baffles the noise when I'm sitting here talking to you right now. All right, the right connection. This is super important. If you guys are in the US and you have a fiber connection and you have great electricity and it never goes out, good for you. I live in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta. So there's two things that are going to happen. I know my internet service will eventually go out, and I know my power will eventually go out. So this little diagram, and you'll all get a copy of this presentation after the meeting. This little diagram is exactly how my office is set up, and it's exactly how it was set up in that 1 square meter. No difference. So I had to have a little battery backup, right? I had to contract with 2 providers, different companies, because they're so unreliable. I've still got to work every day. If I can't clock in on the Overpass clock, I'm not getting paid. So I have to make sure that I'm going to invest 8 hours a day, making the most money I can in 8 hours. And if I have no power or internet and I can't work, I'm just losing money. I'm literally just bleeding cash in my mind. Battery backup, I think I paid maybe $35 for this. Not a fortune, maybe 35 bucks, little bitty guy, because the only thing you need to back up is your modems, your internet modems. That's it. Because if you're using a laptop or a tablet, that will last you 3 hours. The battery backup will last you about 3 hours. So, you know, if the power goes out, you've got about 3 to 4 hours to work. And then if you see that it's not coming back on, like a rolling blackout, like South Africa, if we have any South Africans on this meeting, you guys have rolling blackouts. You can't control it, but you still got to work. You still got to make a living. You still got to pay the rent, and you still got to feed the family, right? Those 2 internet connections I have into a load balancing router. So if one goes down, the other one picks up. It's hardwired into my laptop. It's on a literal LAN connection plugged into my laptop. Why? If you're using Wi-Fi, your microwave oven, if you're on a 2.4 gig connection, can literally erode your internet signal. Every one of your routers on the back has a little connection port. And I know I'm old and you may even not know what I'm talking about, but reach out later and I'll tell you. There's a little cable you can plug into the back of that modem, and that cable will plug into the back of your device. And if you don't have that connection on your device, there's adapters. So hardwire your internet connection. When we interview, I'm going to ask Mia to jump in here for just a sec. So when somebody comes to the talent acquisition team and you're doing your original interview, how many times, Mia, can you tell that they don't have sufficient internet connection?
Oh, the majority of the time, we either can't see them, we can't hear them. There's a delay when they're speaking, they can't hear us. So it is a really big impediment when we're trying to do that initial onboarding call, definitely.
Yeah. So imagine how your client feels if you're still on the same connection. You cannot imagine the number of contracts that we get canceled, and they're phenomenally good contractors, but they don't have the bandwidth to be able to do their job. So if you love the remote lifestyle and you love the 8-step commute from your bedroom, you need to make the investment. If you have marginal internet, you need 30 Mbps is megabyte per second. You can talk to your internet provider and use that term, and they'll know what that means. I have an antenna on my roof. Now, I live in a very expensive community. I don't have fiber. So I have an antenna on my roof pointing to a tower. That's my first connection. And I have an old school DSL line, a 30 Mbps line, which is my second connection, 2 different providers. Mia, have you ever heard me with any call latency?
Never. You're probably the clearest person I speak to all day, Dennis.
There you go. Is it investment? Yeah, it's an investment. But if you want to and enjoy a remote work lifestyle, it's a necessary investment. So 2 internets, load balancing router, laptop with a camera. You're like, well, I'm on the phone all day, not in an interview. And by the way, in about a month, you won't even be able to interview on the phone. 100% of every Overpass interview really quickly is going to be on video. So your first impression is going to be on video. Worst case scenario, I've got no other option. Put a digital screen behind you in Google Meet. You can do that. You can get away with that. But every time you move, there's this fuzziness in your background. It's not the best solution, but it's a solution. Do not show them your dirty dishes or your children. I'm sure they love your children or they're great with children, but they're trying to hire you. Make sense? At least a multi-core processor, at least 4 gigs of RAM. And if you don't do, if you have a weak laptop, but a great internet connection, we're going to know. And so is your client. If you have a terrible internet connection, but the best laptop in the world, we're going to know. And so is your client. So it's balancing all of those components together to make sure that we've got the perfect stream, even if it's weak. Mine's weak. Literally, I have a little antenna on the roof. I'm using a DSL line, and here we are talking, and it works great. But it's on that configuration. And then we'll talk about headsets. Everyone talks about noise canceling headset. Noise canceling means nothing. ANC is the industry term, active noise canceling. You can buy a hardwired, if you don't have a big budget, hardwired ANC headset for about $40. So it's not a lifetime investment, but that actively blocks out all background noise. Now, my office is so quiet that I don't need a headset. Like literally, I think I could almost record music in my office at this point. I have so many tech toys that you'll see later, right? But it's important that if you don't have that ability, that you have that noise canceling headset. So let's break this down. ANC, active noise canceling, because you'll look at a headset at Walmart or wherever your nearest retailer online is, and it'll say includes noise canceling. ANC. If it doesn't say ANC, you're going to get bleed over. I'm going to hear the rooster. I'm going to hear your dog barking. I'm going to hear all of that. So it needs to be an ANC headset. Multi-core processor. Almost every device made today is in a multi-core processor that's new. That's new. And you go, there's no way I have the budget for a new laptop. That could cost me $500. The beauty of the market today you can actually get a high-end tablet for about $250 that you could literally work off of effectively off Overpass. Do we recommend that? No. Will it work until you make some money and make some commission? Absolutely. You want a laptop or tablet because they have a backup battery. If the power goes out and you have a backup battery on my internet modems over here, what good does it do if I'm using a desktop? Because my desktop is absolutely dead. Make sense? So always try to lean toward a laptop or a tablet that has a backup battery. Multiple screens. When you guys see my office, like I am a screen junkie, you'll figure that out. I mean, I run 5 screens. I run a cell phone, a tablet, a laptop, and 2 screens above. Do you need to do that? Absolutely not. In fact, I wouldn't even encourage it or recommend it. 2 is going to be a huge value to you. And today you can even take a really cheap tablet for like $100 and you can use it as a second screen. Apple, Chromebook, Windows, all 3 have functionality to do that. So you could literally use a little bitty cheap tablet as your second screen. If you get a contract, let's say that's not tech and talent, it's just talent, and you have to use their operating system. And let's say you're taking inbound calls. You've got to clock in and out on Overpass, but then you have to look at this dialer, and then you may have to look at a sales script. It's really hard, guys, to shift those tabs all day long. So if you have a second, even it doesn't matter what it costs, any second monitor, it's a lifesaver. Some days I will literally be on 3 meetings at the same time. That's why I have all these screens. We hope you never have to work a contract like that. I just drew the short straw, so here I am. So let's talk about office ergonomics. This is about comfort, right? That picture is the exact chair I'm sitting in. The headrest adjust, the lumbar support adjust. It has tilt, like I can literally, I don't even know where the button is, but somewhere here I can tilt it back. I don't know. Oh, there we go. I can tilt back like I'm in a lowrider in LA, right? It's got, I think it's 9 different positions. That's what I spent all the money on. That's like my luxury expense. I think I spent $400 on this silly chair, but I spent 1/3 of my life in this chair. What would you spend on a mattress you're going to spend 8 hours a day on? Invest money in your chair. Desk and table height. You're like, why would it matter? Well, some days I get tired. Watch this nonsense. Now, I'm not telling you have to do this, but you see how I'm disappearing? Let me go back. My desk goes up and down. So I spend half my day standing up and half my day sitting down. Make sense? Do you need to do that? No. But you need to have your desk height right? Yes. Keyboard height. Am I having to do this or this to reach my keyboard? You're going to be sending emails or you're going to be communicating. Make sure that's an easy reach and an easy height that you're comfortable in. Camera height. You won't always be on camera. You go, well, I've never worked off the phone. Get ready. Because we actually tell clients, if there's any way you can get your contractor to sell on video, get them on video. So if you don't have a video contract today, believe me, we're lobbying that you're going to be on video. And Mia and everybody at Overpass can tell you I'm a video freak. I don't even want to talk to you unless I'm on video with you. Like I am a nut job on video. Why? 80% of communication is nonverbal. I don't want to hear your words. I want to see your face while I'm talking to you. Me, just me. We're going to have another block on that. We talked about it last week, man, on neuro-linguistic programming. Camera height. Is your camera at the right height if you're on video? Do you see how it's got me from basically here up, but it's adjusted to the height of my furniture? Like that's how much my camera is adjusted. I need to look at that customer like I'm looking them in the eyes when I'm talking to them. Not all of us will ever do, not all of us will do this, but if you're on video, this is all important. Here's probably the most critical element. So you've got all the tools, you got your 1 meter or 780 cubic centimeters, whatever that was, set up, pacing your day. When we have clients that have cold callers and they go, I'd like them to make 400 calls a day. We're like, well, you can, It's an 8-hour shift and they're going to burn out at 6. Excuse me, wet the whistle there a little bit. And they go, do you think 8 hours is too much? Yeah, if all they're doing is dialing all day, 8 hours is an eternity. So you either need to give them breaks, you need to do something, because that's a lot of calls. Even if your client says, I'm not going to pay breaks, that's fine. Put a timer on your phone for every 2 hours. Nobody's going to sit there and worry about if you got up and walked around for 2 minutes. Or if you had a terrible phone call where the customer hung up on you and it totally messed up your head and they were totally rude, get up and walk it off. Don't get on that next call. And this may sound silly. You've got to eat. I eat at my desk every day. My calendar's that full. But my wife makes sure that I eat at this time every single day, because she knows if she doesn't stop me, I won't stop to eat. I'm that focused on my work. Make sure you eat well, make sure you stay hydrated. And it may sound cheesy, or you're like, why? It's important. It bleeds through in every conversation you have and in everything you do. So you need to stay healthy, because we are in an unhealthy atmosphere all day long. We're sitting in a chair. It couldn't get any worse. Well, we could be riding over cobblestones on a tricycle, but other than that, sitting all day on the phone, not the best position in the world. Take your personal time. So what I love about working at Overpass, and what I'm so passionate about, I may come to work early because I have a lot of responsibilities. I'm okay starting work at 5:45 a.m. But at 4:01, I dare you to try to get a hold of me, because unless you own Overpass, you're not gonna. There's only one man in this world that can get me on a phone after 4:01, and that's the guy that cuts my paychecks. Don't let your client be overbearing and be calling you after hours. That's my time. If you'd like me to clock in, I'll clock in. We can have the conversation, right? My compensation plan is probably a little different than yours, but I'm talking about your compensation plan. Don't let your owners or clients be overbearing. That's your personal time. Go, would you like me to clock in? I can take the call if you're available. If not, I'll see you in the morning. So remember, one huge freedom we have as remote contractors is we have control over our own destinies. We've got more jobs. So if you're working for an abusive client, let us know.
I echo that wholeheartedly. Please let us know. Please.
Yes. Me is responsible if you behave poorly to manage that. I am responsible for clients that behave poorly. And believe me, Mia is so much nicer than I am. I will take a client off this platform in 2 seconds if he's abusing you guys or her. It's not gender specific. So in review, next steps: find a quiet space, get the right connection, right? You only need a corner. You only need 1 square meter to build a Mac Daddy office. Nobody ever knew I was working at a 1 square meter, ever. Today, my office is a little bigger, but that's okay. Get the right connection. Make sure internet's right. Get the right tools: ANC headset, laptop, high-end tablet, low-end laptop, at least multi-core processor, 4 gigs RAM. Get comfortable. Make sure you're working in a comfortable position. Like, I'm an old dude, right? Like, I'm 55. So I have this, here, let me see if I can pull it out here. I have to have my butt cushion that I sit on. Even with that Mac Daddy chair, I'm sitting in this chair 8 to 10 hours a day. I need the cushion, or I can barely walk when I get up at the end of the day. So get comfortable and make sure you separate your work time from your private time. And nobody's ever going to fault you from getting up and walking around for a couple of minutes for a bad call, right? If they do, let us know. Laying out your space. So at the bottom of this presentation, this is a free tool. This tool for free. I mean, you can pay for it if you want to, but laying out an office space, go to www.floorplanner.com. Find 1 square quiet corner of your bedroom, house, living room, bath, whatever. You can lay out your space right there for free. This is where I work every day. That's the office you're looking at. Make sense? And if you look around that room, everything I just talked about, you're staring at. Do I expect everybody to have an office like that? I hope you do. I hope you make so much money as an Overpass contractor that yours looks better than mine. That's my sincere desire. So let's see. I think, Mia, we're about 3:29. We're about half past. Why don't we just open it up for some Q&A?
Absolutely. And we have some questions that I definitely want to go through. Just so everyone knows, you can put your question either in the chat or in the Q&A, and we will make sure to answer it. I also just put, for any of those who have not yet joined the Overpass platform, I put directions on how to do that in the chat if you would like to see. So first question, Dennis, is from Ever, who we know very well.
Oh, yeah,
Ever says, I have a question in regards to setting an hourly rate. I live in the UK and the cost of living is crazy. Also, since we are contractors, we don't get paid sick days, vacations, holidays, or retirement plans. How can we calculate a competitive rate? I think we can both answer that, Dennis, if you want to go first.
Sure. And I look at that two different ways. It's what the opportunity can pay. So part of that is, how good are you? Like, Ever's amazing. Ever can sell ice cream to Eskimos. So Ever's great. But he does live in a very expensive area. But remember, you want to look at what the base rate is plus the commission. What is my opportunity in this contract? Not the hourly rate, the opportunity. Let me tell you why. All of you guys are competing against each other for the hourly rate. And if the contractor only has so much budget, we're going to serve up contractors that fit that client's budget. What you really want to focus on is what the commission opportunity is. Do I think I can sell this product? Do I think I can be effective? And do I think I can at least, and I'm going to give you just a guideline here, can I at least double my paycheck? I have a base rate with Overpass. If I don't double that, I did something terribly wrong. And I have the wrong opportunity. I'm not a good fit for this position. Does that make sense? So Ever, you're in a tough spot, right? Because you're in a really expensive area, but you've got to compete. So what I would do if I were you is I would intentionally look at contracts commission rates and pick the contract that best suits your skill set, so you can knock the commission out of the park, but still get the contract. I hope that made sense. Over to you, Mia.
Yeah, great. I am happy to give hard numbers. Definitely echo what Dennis said. Commissions are very important, and you can actually filter by commission when you are looking at jobs on the platform. For numbers, I've seen rates as low as 5 up to 30. Again, definitely depends on your experience. Clients are willing to pay more for a really quality contractor. So if you have years of experience, you're really bringing a lot to the table, I would say you're probably okay, maybe that 20 to 30 range. If, however, you're kind of new to this, kind of still starting out, maybe wouldn't shoot that high. And as Dennis said, kind of look for those roles that better fit your skill set. And again, even if you're not super happy with the base, many of our clients do offer pretty healthy commissions. So you can definitely look at that when you're making that hourly rate decision and calculation.
Sometimes I'm talking to a client, I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if Levy get mad if I left when I see the commission structure. Right? I'm going, are you, and I'll even tell the client, are you sure you want to pay that? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Wow.
I'm going to get you some Mac Daddy talent, buddy.
Yeah.
The best of our best.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I hope that makes sense to everybody, right?
Hope so. And if not, ask another question.
When you first start with Overpass, if you put an unreasonable rate in, and I'll tell you guys, if you're in an SDR to BDR position starting out, that base pay is going to be between $8 and $12 an hour. If you're in an account executive position, that base pay is going to be between, Mia, correct me if I'm wrong, 15 and 25.
Yep.
Is that about right?
That's about right, I would say.
And I would guess, I don't know if you know or but I'm probably the highest paid contractor on Overpass. And just so you guys know, Mia is an employee of the company. I'm a contractor, just like you. Would that be an accurate statement? I don't know. I've never checked. I'll ask Levy.
Yeah, we'll just check in with the CEO and make sure that that's the case.
Yeah, ask Greg. He knows.
That's billing.
Yeah. If somebody's got a better gig, could you hook me up with that job, Mia? Because I'm always looking for new opportunities.
I will be on the lookout for you, Dennis. I will be on the lookout.
What other questions do we have?
We have a few more. Todd asks, can we work 3 to 4 hours a day? I'll let you answer, Dennis, because you have a better idea of clients and what they're looking for.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, this is important too, because when we're talking to a new client and they go, well, I just want one person. We're like, I would recommend you don't do that. I'd recommend you hire 2 part-timers for 20 hours a week over 1 full-time employee. And here's why. This is the exact verbiage that comes out of my mouth 5 times, 6 times, 8 times a day. First, you have 2 contractors to compare against. Second, if one doesn't work out, we can replace them in 2 to 3 days and you won't lose momentum on your initiative. And third, really smart contractors will work 2 contracts in case one doesn't work out. They still pay the rent that month. So there's 3 reasons that we say that. Did that answer the question okay, Mia?
Answered it for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question is from Ashley. She asks, do you have any noise canceling tips for walls?
Yes, actually behind me. Okay, look at that picture that's on the screen. Look to your left-hand side. You would never know it, but I have 14-foot ceilings in my office. It's an echo chamber. That over to the left is just a bunch of foam with fabric stretched over it. I bet I don't have $4 a panel invested in that. And they're glued to the wall at the exact same height I'm working because it dampens the noise while I'm working. That's why I have the carpet on the floor, and that's not carpet, it's just 4 rugs. And it's like the ugliest rug. You see it in the picture, right? See there at the bottom? I feel like 1970s watching Scooby-Doo and Shaggy or something like it, but it baffles more noise, and that's why it's there. Curtains do the same thing. And if you can get blackout curtains or two-ply curtains, that baffles noise as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Dennis. Next question. This person has a question about video backgrounds. My room is basically quiet, but the background's not aesthetically pleasing like Dennis's. Is it okay to use virtual backgrounds instead of setting up curtains around me?
Absolutely. If you're sitting here going, you know what, I don't have the budget for curtains, nor are they going to hang up right, put a digital background on. I will tell you this, you're better off putting a solid background. Everybody wants to put that Mac Daddy picture of where they want to go on vacation. Don't do that, because the higher resolution that image is, the more that fuzziness is going to appear when you move around on the video call. So just a solid background, blue, green, but I don't know, pick a color, way better. But yes, absolutely.
Great. Thank you. That is the end of the questions that I saw initially. So everyone feel free to ask more questions either in the Q&A or the chat. Octavine, I did see your question, and I'm going to ask that you put that in our Facebook group. I think that's a bit more appropriate than for this live session here. So I will be answering you shortly with that information. Great. We have a question from Arshad. Arshad asks, is there any sales target? And so Arshad, I may allow you to speak so that we can better answer your question. I'm a bit
Arshad's
confused.
okay with that. Yeah, I'd like to drill down into
into what that he really means there. So
pretty broad question.
Yeah, go ahead and you can unmute yourself,
Arshad,
and ask the question.
Okay, my question is there any sales target that is fixed that I've got to achieve, and what is that? If
we give every client a training outline and we tell them to put in sales objectives, that's up to the client. It's not up to us. So remember, you guys are working through us, but you're working for the client. We give them a training outline that says, give an idea of how many calls, how many emails, what their job description is, how they fit in the sales process. And the last thing in there, what goals or targets do they have? So you should always ask that question. It's actually a great question, Arshad. Ask that question in your interview.
Okay.
People think that they show up to interviews, they just need to be quiet and answer questions. Ask questions.
Okay.
If you have doubts, ask questions. The client appreciates it, we appreciate it, and it usually makes for a better match.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, sir. There's no limit.
Okay.
It's not like fishing trout.
Yeah. Second question is, the training, is there something will be there? If it is there, then what will be the duration for the training? and what will be the procedure, the time, the time frame, timeline, something, can you focus on it?
Two-sided question. So the first one, let's say you're a new contractor with Overpass. We have a weekly training and Mia manages all this. And
Okay.
Garrett, another guy who, if you work with us long enough, you will learn to know and love. You'll have a training video if you need to get boarded really quick, or a training webinar, but you're going to train in our system. There's number one. Totally separate from that, you accept your first contract, the client is going to train you. And it's totally up to them how, when, how long, what on.
Okay.
So that is totally out of our control, Arshad, but that was an amazing question. Thanks for asking.
And what is the, will there be any provision, any facility given for the material products to be given of, I mean, the soft copy or something, so that, you know, when I have got a spare time, I can get through that and I can go through that, you know, just to grasp some of the basic or elaborated ideas of how to get on with the sales activities there with the clients.
Our training is on video, and you can always get a backup video for the initial training. Again, your client training, ask your client about it when you're in an interview, because that's totally on them how they train you. We don't train you for somebody else's business. I've owned 30 some business entities in my life. I could train on those 30 something. We have thousands of different business models that we deal with in a given year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the client does their training. What we train you on is how to use our platform, how to use a time clock, how to clock in, clock out, how to call from our platform. If the client's using technology or not, you're still going to learn it. That's what we train on. Does that make sense, Arshad?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now you were talking about something about the wages, compensation and all that, 15, 30 or something. But what will be the currency? Because I am from Canada, not from England or Mexico or somewhere else, or USA. So USD. I was pretty much curious, interested about 15, 30, what currency it is that you are talking
USD,
about.
US dollars.
US dollar, right? Because I'm in Canada. So I'll be pretty much interested in Canadian currency. 100%. So US dollar can is more or less the same, little bit more, maybe can.
Arshad, we have clients in Canada and they pay in US dollars. There's no plan B with us.
No plan, right.
100% of our contracts are paid in United States dollars.
Right.
Through PayPal, TransferWise, or whatever other method we use.
Right. We have those too.
Yeah.
That's a standard that you have. Yeah.
Just so you know, I don't live in New York. Our company, like me, is sitting in Brooklyn. I'm sitting in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Yeah.
I get paid by PayPal, just like you do every week.
Right.
Or Wise or whatever.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
great.
You know, I may have a fancy title. I don't even think I have one, Mia. I think we talked about that, but yeah.
They was like, oh yeah, that I think that's his title. I said, sure, we'll use that.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Just call me whatever. Just call me Dennis. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But like I get paid the exact same way you guys do. Every Thursday, Overpass sends me my money. And then once a month, they send me commissions with my weekly pay. And it's always US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend in pesos. So this works out swimmingly. I know that term's kind of redneck. This works out swimmingly for Dennis's life.
Yep.
Because I live in a pretty cheap country, but I get paid in US dollars. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. One thing more, that the salary, wages, and the rate of commission and all that can be negotiated with the client. That is second
We
step
are
of
a 100% offer and acceptance portal.
Right.
So the client will offer you whatever he wants to pay you. It's up to you if you want to accept that or not.
Right.
If there's a negotiation that happens in the middle, the account executive will take care of that. Not the client, not you. Somebody on my team will take care of that.
Okay.
They'll reach out to both of you and go, can we meet in the middle?
Absolutely. Perfect.
We'll be your arbitrator. That rarely happens, but it does happen, eh?
Yeah.
It's just because you're from Canada, I said, eh?
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, I've worked in Canada off and on. So anyway, yeah, it's total offer acceptance. But if there's any arbitration, we'll get in the middle of that and help you negotiate.
Right.
And see if there's a happy medium. Does that make sense?
That was my concern, that who will be someone that I've got to get into negotiation.
We're the arbitrators every time.
It will be yours. You will be the source.
Yeah, we'll be the arbitrators if If they
arbitrators.
send you an
Okay,
offer and you decline it, we'll
Yeah.
immediately be reaching out to you going,
fantastic.
that's what they want to pay you and they're not going to deviate. But we'll go, you know what? They might be negotiable. We'll just tell you what it
Yeah.
is. We
Yeah.
have no reason to misrepresent anything.
That yeah.
In that arbitration, we're like, you know what? You know, you offered you 12. I think maybe I can get him to 13.50, but I think if you go over there, it may, he's probably going to say no, or she. And you just go, hey, I can take that or I can't. And if you can't, it's okay. No harm, no foul. We keep interviewing.
And the time frame bond binding will be negotiated, settled, resolved with the discussed with the client. That will they will be the right and right source for it.
They will send you an offer that shows up in your inbox. You can accept it. You can decline it. That's your option.
Okay.
It's the only option you got. Yes or no.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
So if you're in doubt, say no. We'll reach out.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely. Perfect.
And we'll get in the middle and try to find a happy medium.
Yeah.
If it exists. Sometimes we'll call you and go, this client is not going to give one more dime than $9.25 an hour base rate, but look at the commissions. And if I'm on that call, I'm going to go, how good are you? Because that's a really good commission plan. Can you sell?
Right.
Because I'd say yes, but you make up your own mind. It's your money.
Right.
Make sense?
Hey, makes sense. Absolutely.
If you have a poor commission plan, I might go, if you need something to do, maybe start here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely.
Maybe just start here so you're paying the rent, and then just keep your profile that says what is it called, Mia?
Ready to work.
Ready to work. Ready to work.
No, the other one.
Ready to work or considering opportunities.
Considering opportunities.
Considering opportunity. Okay, great.
So if you're in a bad contract that pay the rent, just leave your profile and considering opportunities, because we're still going to search for you on other jobs.
Right. Okay, great. Clear.
Who else do we have, Mia?
Thank you. Yeah, I was
Great questions, Arshad.
Yeah, thank you, Arshad. Those are all great. Those are all great. We do have a question from Yolanda that I can answer. She asked, is there any option for payment besides PayPal in South Africa? So as of now, no. If you are able to receive money through PayPal, we do require contractors to receive money through PayPal. Wise is only offered if you can't open a PayPal. If you literally can't open a PayPal, but if you can, then PayPal is our only method. But we are currently looking into alternative solutions as we speak. So we will be updating everyone with, any progress made there as soon as we have it. So that's that. Then we have a couple of raised hands. So I'm going to let these people speak. So Irene, I see that you had your hand raised for a while, so I'm going to let you talk, and you can go ahead and unmute and ask Dennis your question.
Barcenas, where are you calling us from?
Barcenas. Oh,
you're on mute, Irene.
Still on mute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, yes, Irene. I'm from the Philippines, and hi, Mia and Dennis. Well, in the meantime, I don't have any questions. I just so happened to click the hand. That's why I've listened to questions, and I think those questions were answered already since.
I'm just going to wave right back at you.
We can wave back. Hello. We're happy to have
hi.
you.
Thanks for coming.
Me as well.
Wonderful. Thanks, Irene.
Thank you.
But we do have another raised hand from Octavine, I believe. So we're going to let them talk. So you can now unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question.
Octavine, if you can hear us, you're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Okay.
There we go.
No worries. Okay, well, great. My name is Octavine Morton, and I have been a successful sales representative for Bell South, AT&T, and so on. Okay, for years. So now I am in the collection arena. So without being said, the reason for my hand being raised, I just want to ask a general question. I know you were saying that there will be meetings on a weekly basis. Will that be the same time on a weekly basis? Will we get a email pertaining to that?
Is is Garrett still doing the live training, or is it video?
Yes. So if you're referring to our trainings, they are at the same time every week. So as soon as you talk to one of our TAs and your profile is good to go, you'll receive the registration info for the training. So they're Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then on Thursdays from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. So that is every week. And our colleague Garrett does it live. So you're able to ask questions. He goes in, shows you how to use the platform. And it's really, really informative so that you know what to do once you get on the platform. But yes, it's offered twice a week, every week, and you're able to register for it as soon as you speak with one of my colleagues, the talent advocates, and your profile is good to go.
And Garrett's our Overpass superhero. We've never found a person that didn't love him.
Yes,
you'll enjoy Garrett.
Sounds great. I'm looking forward to this.
That's Garrett. I'm not Garrett.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you for the question.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
You are so welcome.
So we have another question about the duration of contracts. It says that my contract is ongoing. So does that mean that anytime clients can cancel our contracts without further notice? It's a good question.
Yes, that's actually an amazingly good question. And we're actually, I don't know when it's coming out, but in the next iteration of job offers, every contract is always going to be ongoing. So it's all called, in US legal terms, it's called at-will work, which means your client can cancel at any time, but so can you. So it's a mutually cancelable contract. So if you're building value and making that client revenue, they don't want you to leave. If you're not, they may ask you to leave. If you are working for a tyrant, maybe you want to leave. Or if they're asking you to make 800 calls a day in 4 hours, unrealistic expectation, you probably want to leave. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. Also, Dennis, did we want to show our lovely faces and stop sharing the screen? I don't know, as we answer these last few questions.
I'm sorry, I could have stopped.
No, it's fine. I just know the last time they're like, we want to see Dennis's face. So I wanted to please the people over here.
Well, if I get bigger, I don't get any prettier. That's the bad
news. But we have another raised hand from Ashley. So I will let her go ahead and talk and ask her question. So Ashley, remember you're on mute. So if you could unmute and ask your question, that would be great.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Mia. Nice to meet you. Hey, Dennis.
I know Ashley. I know each other.
Yeah. So about, I have a question about referral program. Do we have something like that for us as like an inside Overpass?
Yes, I would love to speak about our referral program.
Yeah, Mia will take that one.
I'm very excited. Yes. So actually, we do have a referral program for our contractors. How it works is on your Overpass profile in the lower right hand, you'll see a unique referral link. So if you want to refer someone, just give them that link. And what they'll do is you'll create a profile using your referral link. That way they'll be tracked through our system. So how it works is they create a profile and you would get paid once their profile is approved and they've worked for at least 1 week with a client, and we pay out referrals once a month at the beginning of the month. So if you do have people you want to bring to Overpass, just share your link with them. We'll keep track of them on our end. And if they begin working with a client, then you will get paid for each referral you've brought to the platform.
And Ashley, just so you know, every once in a while, we can't find the right talent on the platform, and my own account executives will recruit somebody and use their own unique link.
Yep.
So how much is that?
Yes, you get $100 per referral.
Yeah, 2 zeros. Yeah, 100, not one.
100.
100. $100 after they've completed one week's of work in a contract. Did that answer the question, Ashley?
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I did.
And I think, who was that? Archit just said, I just got my bonus. Just so you know. Archit, if you can come on live, tell us about that. You got your money?
Yeah, let me go ahead. And she actually had a question too, so we actually can let her ask that as well. So Archit, you can go ahead and unmute and speak.
Hi guys, good morning. Oh no, good afternoon rather. Hi Dennis, hi Mia.
It's morning for you, no problem.
Yeah, good morning for me. Yeah, to Ashley, I just got my bonus last week. I mean, yeah, last week, and it's $100 for one referral, and she's actually here joining us, Claudine, and I'm so happy, and she's so happy. She's a happy camper working with a
What's her name?
client. Claudine May Pagal. You can saw her comment. She just left
She
a comment.
did.
Yeah. So about my question, I just wanted to ask if what would you do if a client were going to ask you to work off from the platform and we're going to pay you on a commission basis?
That's a great question. Ready for the answer? Put yourself on mute because I think we got a little reverb going on.
I just muted her while you answer. Go ahead, Dennis.
Okay, Archon. So just so everybody knows, and we're really clear on this, if you ever go to work for a client off the platform, you will immediately be dismissed for life off the platform. If a client ever tries to contract you off platform, we dismiss the client for life. It's non-negotiable. I'm the guy that makes the call, or Mia, and there is no renegotiating.
And just to clarify, when we say off the platform, there's a difference between working off the platform, but the client has sent you an offer through Overpass. So it's fine if they sent you an offer through Overpass, you accepted it, and you're just logging your hours on the off system work, which we discussed in training. So they're using Overpass, but they're not using our CRM. They're like, we want you to use HubSpot, but the contract itself was through Overpass. Totally fine. We have plenty of clients who aren't using Overpass as CRM.
Correct.
The issue is if they're trying to hire you off the platform and they're like, it's fine. Well, you just sign this DocuSign or respond to this email saying that you'll work for me and we'll just pay you off the platform. Absolutely. That's a no-no. They will be dismissed and you will be dismissed.
And let me tell you a story. The first contract I took on Overpass, I was hired off platform. And back then, there really wasn't any messaging. I didn't even know there was a platform. I worked for that client, let's say, for a month and a half. And after a month and a half, she did not pay me a $4,800 check she owed me. And guess how much recourse you have? Zero. I'm like, I've lived it. That was my first experience with Overpass. Then I called back to Mia's department and I go, did I miss something? They're going, oh yeah, you missed a bunch. Oh, well, you might want to tell us that, which now everybody knows that, right? But
right, it's in training. We discussed it heavily in training that is against our policies and clients cannot do that.
Yeah. And just so you know, the good news, guys, I think I probably kick off more clients than Mia kicks off contractors off the board.
Yes, very true. Because the good thing is contractors usually come to us and they're like, hey, this seems a little off. Is that okay? And if you come to us and say this is what's happening, we're not going to kick you off. It's only if we find out after the fact that you accepted and then, oh no, I'm not getting paid. And then you come to us and we're like, well, you accepted it off the platform. That's a different story. So as long as you come to us, we can get it resolved. But yes, as Dennis said, it's more likely the client's getting kicked off than the contractors in these types of situations. So thank you so much for bringing that up, Archon. It's a great point.
That was a great question.
Yeah. And you can go ahead and unmute Dennis if you want to mute while she asks. I think she had probably a follow-up.
Cool. Go ahead, Archon.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Okay, great. This is just a follow-up though. I didn't take it because I already spoke to Garrett about it, because I just wanted to be honest with you guys. What she's planning to do is she wants to put back my contract, and then she will just put like $1 or $2 for my rate, and then that's just for just for the sake of the contract. But the pay is really on a commission basis. So I said no, I declined, and I already spoke to the account executive from Overpass about it. And I said, I'm not gonna work with her anymore. I'm not interested with that kind of pay and work. And I love Overpass, so I'm forever grateful for for having this or being part of this platform.
Who was the account executive, Archon?
It was John Levine.
Oh, Jan.
Yeah, Jan Levine. Yep.
Jan.
Who was the client?
The company or
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Law Ask.
Spell that for me.
law as an LAW and ASK ask.
Last. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember you writing in about this too, Archant. So I'm sure Dennis Garrett is aware as well, but we can follow up. But yeah, thank you, Archant. Yeah, please
I
let us
will
know.
do one thing, you won't have to worry about law ask anymore.
Oh. Perfect. Thank you.
Oh yeah, they'll be gone before you can say Jiminy Cricket, or at least by morning.
Yep.
Nice. Thank you guys. Appreciate
You
it.
bet. No, thank you for sharing that. That was super important.
Yep.
You're welcome.
And we appreciate your integrity, by the way.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you now have a special place in my heart, so I will work all week. to
Oh,
get
wow. Thank
like,
you, Dennis.
requested right person. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks, Archant. I'm being cognizant of time. I'm going to do one more because Ashley had her hand raised. So Ashley, go ahead and talk. This will be our last question.
I'm sorry, I just didn't lower it last time that I asked.
Oh, perfect. All right, then we're all set. Then we're all set. We are all set. Let me see if there's anything else either in the chat or the Q&A before we wrap up. But a lot of it is giving Archant her props for being a person of integrity and letting us know. So thank you again.
That's amazing. We appreciate it.
Yep. So that all is the end of this session of the Remote Sales Live. Thank you so much for your participation. It was really great to hear more voices this time. I like having people talk to us. It's been wonderful. As I mentioned, I will be sending out a recording of this video as well as a PDF of Dennis's materials and his presentation so that
And
you
remember
all—
that link to lay out your space.
Yes, floor plan, very important. And the great thing is the link that you use to log into this will also give you access to the other sessions we have. So as Dennis said, invite your friends, share the link with them. We would love to have more people on this to learn from Dennis. He's such a wonderful resource. So we hope to see you next time. We will not have one next week as it is Thanksgiving, but we will resume these the following week, I believe, right at the beginning of December 1st.
Yeah.
So
you can find me in Guadalajara if you need Thanksgiving dinner. I'll be there.
Find Dennis, he'll host you. It'll be fine. Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you all. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Have a great day.